So the consumer's changed. The thought process has changed. The world has changed. So if we're not learning the updated skills and we're still working on the same skills that we used 5 years ago, then what's going to happen is that you're going to have to work harder and your results are going to probably be less than what they were for somebody who's learning the updated skills. So it's how do we attract, how do we nurture, and then how do we have the right conversations? Because it's not about conversions, right? Like I don't want to be converted in somebody's sales funnel. I want to have a conversation that makes me actually want to go and work with that other person, not like, oh, he converted me and he won and I lost.
You are listening to the #1 real estate podcast in the world. We talk with real estate professionals all across North America about their wins, losses, lessons, and stories help you win in your local markets today. My name is Cody from Sharon Street. I'm joined with Vikram Deol of the Real Estate Sales Academy. We are excited to chat about the 7-figure Real Estate Sales Summit live in Las Vegas, August 1st. Maybe you've seen some of the ads. Maybe you've gotten tagged in a Facebook group. Maybe you got an email from Vikram and I. But we are live in Las Vegas. What can they expect in Las Vegas? Let's jam about this today because we generally don't do a whole lot of promo on these podcasts. But today is a day of promo because we're excited. Very first sales summit. What are we chatting about live in Las Vegas?
So, in the marketplace that we live in, there's skills and then there's the right skills.
Yeah.
Right. And what a lot of agents don't understand is that the world changed after this certain event that happened in 2021.
Oh, what happened?
The consumer changed. This thing called lockdowns and this thing where people started to become more segregated and divided, divided for sure. Yeah. But the world changed in a lot of ways because what used to work prior, right? There's people that would never buy a home without seeing it. Now people will buy a home just like they buy a car. It's like, hey, we just go to Carvana, we stick in what we want and we'll go and we'll take a look at it. And if we don't like it, we'll back out during inspections, right? So the consumer's changed. The thought process has changed, right? The world has changed. My 80-year-old grandma now can use an iPhone, an iPad, and a Mac to get on FaceTime and Zoom. Mm-hmm. Well, if you would have asked her in 2018, hey, let's get on an online call, she'd have like, hey, why don't you get in an airplane and come visit me?
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Right. So if we're not learning the updated skills and we're still working on the same skills that we used 5 years ago, then what's going to happen is that you're going to have to work harder and your results are going to probably be less than what they were for somebody who's learning the updated skills. So it's how do we attract, how do we nurture, and then how do we have the right conversations? Because it's not about conversions, right? Like I don't want to be converted in somebody's sales funnel. I want to have a conversation that makes me actually want to go and work with that other person, not like, oh, he converted me and he won and I lost. So we're going to teach you attraction. We're going to teach you nurturing. And then we're going to spend a lot of time talking about how do we actually get those people that are in your database that we're bringing into your database, right? Whether it be online leads, how do we actually get them to take action with you so that you're not looking at the phone with fear and anxiety, thinking, oh my God, I know I need to call these people, but what I've said for the last 16 months isn't working. Yeah. I'm banging my face into a glass window, looking at the horizon and seeing how pretty it is, but I can't figure out the opening to get outside. And we're going to give you the key to unlock the door.
And like I shared with you and you and Sharon yesterday, and Sharon's going to be a guest speaker at the event. I shared in our group chat yesterday, this guy that was doing outbound cold calling and his call to action.
He told me to go keep selling Cutco knives and that he was going to take care of food on my plate. And he called himself Daddy.
Oh, is that
I don't even know what that means.
Was that the same person?
Well, yeah. I mean, I had to reach out and I read his comments and his comments are like, people are in the comments that actually understand sales psychology were like, yo, this is like the worst. Hey, how you doing today? Hey, remember me? Right? Like, if you make enough calls, sure, you're going to find leads. But like the number one thing she says is like, it's totally normal that people hang up on me and tell me off.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be that way. And like,
does not have to be that way.
The whole reason that so many agents, I really believe, don't make calls in this space is because they don't want to get hung up on. They don't want to be seen salesy. And there's a way in order to just have a natural conversation, be curious. I put out a video the other day talking about like, if we all just assumed we didn't understand what the prospect meant, we would ask better questions. We wouldn't be asking questions that trigger sales resistance. And I'm most excited about this event because it's going to be a 1-day deep dive where you're not only going to learn, like Vikram said, about conversion. Maybe your next right thing is attraction. Maybe your next right thing is nurture. Maybe your next right thing is learning what to say. You need all three, but coming to an event where we're going to talk about how to actually factor in, like for me, I'm going to be speaking at the event about how to factor in your strategy locally. And I was giving this example to a new client the other day. We were talking about, I said, one of the mistakes that I see so many marketing companies make is they don't factor in your local market. So what I mean by that is like, if you're targeting with your ads, if you're targeting a bunch of people locally, if your ads are only running locally, but you know that 60% of your buyers in your local market are coming from out of state, why are you not running ads out of state? And I had this conversation with this person the other day where, 60% of their buyers are coming from out of state. I'm like, does it make sense not to run ads in the metropolitan areas of people that are coming to your specific state? So we're going to chat strategy. We're going to chat implementation. Somebody asked me the other day, they're like, well, am I going to get strategic, tactical advice? Is this going to be something that I can take away from the event and actually go and implement and see results in my business? I'm going to say yes. I know for me, I can only speak for myself. I've always been a tactical person. Vic has always been a tactical person. Sharon has always been a tactical person. Well, no, but from a tactics standpoint, it's like, say this, do this. This is like, I really think that at this event, there's going to, I know because I created the flow and the structure of the day, that there's going to be an opportunity for Q&A with Sharon, myself, and Vikram. There's going to be an opportunity, at lunch, if you join the Lunch and Learn, for us to go even deeper with Q&A. If you want to talk about, with the president of Real,
75%, and the lunch is 75% sold out already. So
yeah, like we're almost sold out of the lunch. We've sold 17 tickets. We have, I think we capped it at 25. So yeah, we're like 8 tickets left. So yeah, 18. Sorry, we're at 18 tickets sold. We just sold a ticket this morning. We're 70% sold out on the lunch. So highly implore you to
small event. Like there's only going to be 60.
Probably like 60 people.
Maybe, yeah. I think we might be able to get the venue to allow us to open up a little bit more. So, it's a super small event. It's not going to be one of those events with 3, 4, 5, 800 people, because that allows us. One, it allows for a space of vulnerability. So when people ask questions, it doesn't feel like they're asking in front of a group of 1,000 of their peers, which is super scary. Like I've raised my hand and been on Tony Robbins' big screens, and that first 30 seconds where you have to share something vulnerable and you see your face on 40 screens all around the room, and it's a stadium with 10,000 people, and you're like, oh my God, I got freaking crackers on my shirt. Everybody's like, you don't have that here. It's going to be an opportunity for you to ask 3 people who are exceptional in this space. They've dedicated their last 15 years into really understanding what you need to be doing and how you need to be doing it. And we're just going to lay it out like simple. It doesn't have to be complicated.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be simple. There's lots of opportunity for Q&A, lots of opportunity to, and the other cool thing about it is, and people don't know this, but like I met Sharon at an event 15 years ago. I walked into the lobby and I saw Sharon with a bunch of his TELUS agents. And I'm like, oh my God, there is another Indian. Where is that, my friend? And Sharon just looks at me. He's like, what the? And I was wearing a suit and a tie, and I had like, so like, I didn't look like I was like an idiot, but I was just having fun. And he's like, bro, who are you? And I'm like, what's up, man? Like, what are you doing? And I didn't realize he was running like a mini team meeting in the lobby of the hotel. And he's like, hey, I'm doing an event later tonight in my room. you should stop by because like I want to know who you are. And he was genuinely curious, and that's how we became really good friends. And from there, we've done business together. I've been able to learn a lot from him, like give feedback. Like you would be shocked at who shows up to these events.
Yeah. And like that, closing out with that, this podcast is like, go to SheridanStreet.io/live before we sell the tickets.
Link below.
Click that link, get yourself a ticket. Not only, is Sharang going to be there, I'm going to be there, Vic's going to be there. There's going to be some like heavy hitters from across, North America. I just had a conversation with like one of like a super, super large brokerage out of LA, and they confirmed that their team is like, they're going to try to get some of their team to come. The team leaders are going to be there. So you're going to be able to network in a small knit like environment. Like I said, 50 to 60 to 70 people max at this event. You're going to have the ability to ask not just us questions. You're going to have the ability to actually network with people that are doing some cool shit all across North America. There's people flying in for the event. There's clients flying in. There's people that we don't know, I haven't met personally before that are going to join the event, but there's some heavy hitters.
We have some of our, we have a lot of our top clients coming in. Molly is one of the clients I've been working with for the last 7 or 8 months now. She's on track to tripling her business this year,
which is crazy.
Right? Like, so she's going to be on a panel. We're going to have another one of our clients, Ryan Markowitz, there, he's a 23-year-old young guy. And from the last set of open houses he booked in 8 appointments. 5 of them no-showed him. Right. Mm-hmm. And he was like, oh, well, what do I need to change? What am I saying wrong? And I was like, well, let me hear what you said. I'm like, you didn't say anything wrong. I'm like, how far off did you book these people? He's like, one guy was 7 days out. One guy was 4 days out. One guy, I was like, yeah, that's why. Dude, it's not which, I was like, your process is totally, so like we went deep on him during our high performance coaching day. Yeah. And it was just like, he's like, oh my God, dude, I'm not using a Calendly. I'm sending out generic kind of like text messages that feel kind of slimy. He's like, okay, I completely understand what I did here. And now I'm not going to book people so far out.
Yeah.
But he also, from that one weekend of open houses, he did 2 open houses, 2 hours each. So they weren't like 8 hours of open houses. He signed 2 buyer agency agreements, and
good for Ryan.
One of them also has a listing.
Yeah.
Or I think they have a listing too. So it's like 3 deals out of 2 open houses.
Yeah.
Because he just learned the right things to say in today's market. And he was like beating himself up over the fact that he had a bunch of no-shows. And I'm like, dude, you have more no-shows than people have in a whole month. And like those people aren't not communicating with you.
Yeah.
Like, they're not communicating. They're just saying like, hey, we need to do some travel.
Yeah.
So like, no big deal.
And like, I posted this on social the other day, like about that story of like, of Ryan, setting appointments and getting clients from open houses. Like there are so many agents out there right now that would so benefit from our, just like, even if they just went through our open house module inside of the Triz portal, they did nothing other than that. If they just like, if their focus was, okay, I'm going to build activity business. Like I'm telling you right now that if you just went through the open house playbook inside of Triz, you would get more appointments, which would result in more closings. So if you want all information about Triz and what we're doing, like, when we talk about Ryan, we talk about, Molly, either A, come to the event, or B, just shoot Vic a message. And I've been posting some stuff about Triz and just flipping over Vic conversations. If you want to learn how to do open houses better, if you're not booking appointments from your open houses, you owe it to yourself to have a conversation with Vic. Just send him a DM on Instagram. It's at Coach Vikram Deal. I'm telling you, it'll change your life. Anything you want to add before we close out this podcast, Vic?
August 1st, Las Vegas. It's going to be at the something. All I know is that my Uber will pick me up at 6:45, according to Cody, and we will be going there together.
We're rooming together at the event, so I'll wake you up. Don't worry.
Oh, you won't even worry about waking me up. That's not the problem. All I know is that like allegedly it's at the Starbase in Las Vegas. It's going to be August 1st. If you're in the vicinity or you can get to the vicinity, we have people coming from New York. We have people coming from
if you're
Chicago.
in LA, take the 3-hour trip. If you're in Vegas, I hope that you join us.
And here's what I'll do. If you don't get your ticket value, I will personally reimburse you double the amount, because like I know the content that's coming out. I know what we're delivering. I've already seen the slide decks. I've already seen the back end stuff. So if you are like, oh, I don't know, it's going to be worth my time and maybe it's a waste, buy the ticket. And if you're not 100% by the middle of the day, by the time it's time for lunch, I'll just give you double your money back. And we'll just pat you on the butt and send you on your way. Because like, I don't know that there's a lot of places that are teaching the post-COVID lockdown skills of attracting, nurturing, and converting in a way that utilizes human behavior, human psychology, like really studies human dynamics and like buying and selling habits that people should be learning about. And so like, if you're not happy, we'll just give you your money back. And anyways, we went a lot longer than we expected to. So
well, I want to thank you for tuning into another episode of the Our Agent Podcast. Click or tap the button below, SheridanStreet.io /live. We'll see you in Vegas.